Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Have you changed your shirt?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But I haven't changed it. I just took off one.
Okay. I'm kind of glad that the video did play and you weren't just like stripping off. It's not you. Oh, me.
Anyway.
Hi, everybody. Welcome along to. You're very. Is Jesus calling? Like.
I hope not.
You're very bright there.
That's.
Well, Mike's fixing his lighting. I'll start saying hello to everybody. We've got some. Sorry, we're a little bit late, guys. But you know, standard.
Completely my fault.
Do we tell everybody why you were late, Mike? Why you sent me into complete panic of like, what the hell's going on? Because you fell asleep.
Because I fell asleep. I was putting Killer into bed. And he has this new habit where he wants me to kind of lie with him while he falls asleep. And I just went as well. And I've got this, like, I must have fell asleep like some kind of angle because it's got a complete crick in it.
Sorry, 2 seconds. My doorbell's going. Give me 2 seconds.
Me. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Welcome along to another Blether. Great to have you on. Who we've got? We've got Sugar Kitty. Hello. Dave Ferguson is on. He's just on the water tonight. After a wee afternoon session. Lucky you. God, I wish I could have had an afternoon session. I would have had an excuse then for falling asleep. Good evening to Ian. He is saying he's just landed from Prague, found an excellent whiskey bar, and tried your first springback. Excellent. I hope that is going down well for you. Sugar Kitty, yes, I fell asleep. So who of these two would you have expected to have a cat nap? Yes, I'm not sure if you could call it a cat nap. It was, I don't know, it was just completely, it will take me a second just to wake up. Good evening, Willis, as well. Hi to you. Hello to everyone who's watching. Let us know what's in your glass tonight.
That's my Amazon parcel just turned up if anyone's interested by why my doorbell was going.
Fair enough. All happening on the Blether tonight.
Yes.
Great stuff. So, I guess, what have you been up to, Kat? What's your...
Back from being off for a week, which you know what, like, is always a nightmare when you go back to work after being off. And then today was the craziest day ever. We had a tour operator, a coach group of 36 people arrive at the completely wrong time. So we had them booked in for 10:30 and we phoned them after an hour of waiting. And they said, no, we definitely booked in for 1:45. You're like, there's no way you've booked in for 1:45 because we've got 2 public tours and 1 private tour between 1 and 2:30. So they check back at their email trail and I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. We fucked that on our side, but we're on our way. We're like, okay. So that was a lot.
Yeah.
So we try and fit 36 American coach. They were all Americans actually. It was all just a coach full of Americans. I went to fit them around a 1 o'clock tour, a 2:30 private tour. A 1:30 private tour, and a 2 o'clock tour of 26 people. So collectively, we did. But oh my god, it was mental. There's a lot of dishes to all.
Didn't turn up an hour early, I suppose. If it turned up unannounced.
Well, no. So we told them they had to come at 1:15, and we said, Liz, there's nothing we can do later than that. You have to come at 1:15. So they came at 2:10. But you know. So yeah, we were all just kind of going slightly demented, but you know, it was just like the graceful swan on top and just the mad feet below, like, you know, professionals through. But yeah, I think we're all kind of It's fun. It is fun when it's busy like that. And it's buzzing. There's people everywhere.
It does. You get a wee adrenaline boost, don't you?
You do, but it's when everyone's gone and the door's closed and there's just like chaos around about you. You just kind of go, oh, I kind of crash a little bit. But yeah, it's so good to see the visitor centre so buoyant with people just now. It's awesome. So I'm not going to complain. Just rally and do it all again tomorrow. It's all good.
Good.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's enough drivel from us. We
Yes.
will.
You sorted yourself out now. You're getting me the back full while you're sorting yourself out.
I'm almost awake now. I've almost realised what day it is. I kind of just woke up and I was just like, oh God, I fell asleep. And I was like, I'm sure I'm meant to be doing something. But Tony just left. She normally says cheerio and whatever, but she just left him sleeping.
I would have woken. I would have started phoning. Don't you worry. And yeah. Anyway, we've left our guest sitting in the green room for long enough, and we both practiced how to say his name.
Let's bring on Guillaume Brunet.
Yeah.
And he's kind of laughing at me off stage, so let's bring him in to correct me. Here we are.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
Good, and you? Thank you for the invitation tonight. It's a pleasure.
No.
Looking forward to it.
Joining us.
Yeah.
Where did we bump into each other? It was at a festival.
Yeah, it was the Whiskey Fair festival for the Spirits of Speyside.
Oh, Spirit of Speyside, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Whiskey Fair, yeah.
Yes.
I just popped in for try some whiskey and just
and then
talking about.
We started talking about direct fighting. I was like, ooh, I want him on the Blether.
Yeah.
I know, it's awesome you can join us. Thank you. And sorry for the slight delay in getting started.
No worries at all. No worries.
But yeah, so I think we'll have to start with, are you having a dram tonight? We didn't get the chance to ask you off air if you're having a dram tonight. There's no obligation to have a dram.
I might if you're having a dram.
We will be. Mike's already got the bottle out.
He's trying to wake me up.
I'm going to pour me one then.
Okay, go for it. Does my face look a bit blue?
No.
Fix my light. I don't know. What have you got in your glass, Mike? Just the first thing.
I pulled up the one who was on the shelf is a classic.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Love Aaron. Such a good.
Yeah.
It's one of the best kind of core ranges out there. I think.
I went there not long time ago, like 2 months ago. I went to Aaron and visited the distillery, so it was amazing. So very nice people and such a beautiful island, such a beautiful story. So yeah.
It's a big island too. Really big island. It's quite hard to get around the whole thing. I went for the one day. I was at Campbelltown. We sailed over to Arran. I wanted to do Lochranza and Lag, but A, I didn't have enough time, and B, my children didn't have enough patience for 2 distilleries. So I was like, right, we'll do Lochranza.
I wanted to go to Lochranza. It was closed. So I wanted to go to Lag, and it was closed. So I went to Lochranza.
Yeah, I don't think they're open, or they weren't open every day. I don't think when I was over either. But yeah,
it looks massive. The building looks huge.
Yeah, no, awesome whiskey. Mike, what have you got once you finished doing your stretches?
I know. I've got a couple of drams here. I'm going to start with our Burnside, which is the same as last week. It's not a selfless plug. It's a Balvenie shop exclusive finishing cognac cask, and I had it looked out because you're a former cognac maker as well. So I thought that's a nice link.
That is a good link. Well done.
Nice, good reference.
Yeah. So you know, was whiskey always the dream for you, or was that something you fell into through?
It was. I think whiskey have been the first spirits I get interested into. Long time ago, I was I started my career as a hospitality industry in France. I love cooking and services and stuff like that for 5 years in hospitality school. So about everything about wine all the all the hospitality atmosphere. And I think the first class that we had about spirits, it was about whiskey. So I think the first book that I bought about talking about alcohol, it was whiskey. So it was always been in the back of my head, and I get interested about it. I start buying bottle, and when I was a bartender for a few years, and I was a bartender in London, in a cocktail bar in London, and we had a massive collection of whiskey, so I keep my interest into it. And when I decided to change career and to go behind the scene and on the production side, and I always had that dream to say, like, okay, one day I would like to work for Scotch Whisky Distillery, but first I need to go back to France to learn, like to go back to school. I went back to wine school to learn about wine and fermentation. I worked for a couple of years in the wine industry. I moved to Cognac, and I said, like, I think it's time. I know how to distill. I know about maturation. I know how to speak English, kinda. So I said, I think it's time for. I was not sure that we would find a position into any Scotch whisky distillery. So, but I knew that with a background with Cognac, I had few chances that it would interest some distillery. So I always been there, just waiting to move. So I just moved like a year ago. So it's quite soon.
It's quite a change. So how long did it take you from going back to study to moving into this role?
I moved back to study right after COVID, so 2021, and I realized last year, so 4 years.
Gosh, yeah.
4 years. Yeah, it's been a year in school, and at the same time I was working in the vineyard. It's been 2 years in more than 2 years in Cognac, and then I went back to work in the wine. I went to Peru to work in the distillery, and then I moved here. So 4 years.
That's been quite the journey.
Yeah. But I don't regret. Yeah.
So quite the challenge to take on a new distillery, and not only a new distillery, like quite a geeky distillery as well. Like small, privately owned, directly fired, like wood fired.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't do things by half measures. You could have just
no.
got a Diageo job and kind of learned the ropes for like,
Yeah, that's true. But when I moved to Cognac, I think it was amazing because it was a very old house of Cognac with a legacy, and the master blender he learned from his dad, and his dad learned from his other dad. So I arrived in that independent distillery where so much history, and I've learned so much there. But the thing is, I have to reproduce like blend and a recipe we've been created like 30 years ago, or like more than 30 years ago. We've been distilled decades. So I don't know, I feel like I would like to create something and to be part of a distillery that is just new, and everything have to be built from scratch, and just not reproducing like blend that have been think like many years ago. So when I arrived to Moffat, one of the things that excite me was like an early project. It was like just they start distilling in 2024. So there is everything to do. There is everything to build, everything to write. So that was appealing, and I knew that with my knowledge that I bring from Cognac, that I could bring my touch, and but it's an exciting project. There is so many things to do. I think a new distillery, for a few years, they just don't know what they are. You are producing new make spirits. I think the more old whiskey that we have is 2 years old. We are happy about about what we see, but I think we don't know what's the potential of it, and we're gonna know that in a few years when it's gonna be like 5 or 10 years old. We're gonna have the comparison and say, okay, that's the new spirit that we produce, and that's the potential of it. So yeah, it's a few years of uncertainty, but it's amazing to just walk on the fog and try to do the right thing.
It's certainly very exciting. I've got loads of questions to ask you, but I can hear a pneumatic drill outside my window. I'm just going to go and close my window. They're digging up my street. Give me 2 seconds.
So, what was the kind of thought process towards what you know? Because obviously you're saying you're creating something new. You must be kind of slightly tied with that wood fire. What kind of character you can create?
Yeah.
To an extent. What was that what is the character? Well, first, 2 questions. What is the character you've come up with, and what was the thought process behind kind of getting there?
So the whole idea at the beginning is from Nick and Erin, which are the founder who created the distillery in 2023, and the idea of Nick, the founder, was coming back to like traditional method, and of course like wood fire still, and because we are like a very small scale, we will not use like thousands of kilo of wood like for distill our whiskey. But when he started writing the process, he realized that if you are mashing in at a high temperature, most of the distilleries are mashing at 63.5. Forget all the convert sugar, but we are mashing at a higher temperature, like between 65 and 66. So what we get is unfermentable sugar, and like so that left in our wash. So what we do in a wood fire still is we're gonna caramelize those unfermentable sugar at the bottom. So that's the kind of signature that we get from the wood fire. So that was the old idea from Nick, to mashing in at a high temperature and use wood fire, a traditional method, and have that Maya reaction at the bottom, that typical caramelize and creamy notes. And what was your second question? I forgot. I don't know if I answered both.
It was what character, spirit. What's your spirit character style? And
yeah, so what we get is quite heavy New spirit, like very very aromatic one. Already our low wine, our beer is our wash is about 12% ABV, so we have a very high ABV wash, quite aromatic. And when we distill it, we obtain like low wines, very very heavy one, like quite very aromatic and very heavy. They are about like 32 sometimes to 35% ABV low wine, so very high. And after we distill those low wine not into a wood fire still, but into like a electronic still, like a bain-marie system. Yeah. And yeah, we obtain like a New spirit, mostly like very very buttery, very creamy, very oily with a bit of apricot, quite lactic note, like brioche. So it's quite unusual because the New spirit have a lot of character already, and I think the wood fire is because of the wood fire distillation have a big impact on the New spirit final profile. So yeah, we tends to don't do like a lowland style, like a light whiskey, but like quite very heavy whiskey.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So we were geeking out. We were direct firing at in Speyside. I totally agree with the whole kind of heavy. I hate the word creamy because it gives me the ick, but it is like a really kind of creamy palate feel.
Yeah.
So sorry, we kind of moved into 2021. So like looking at our new make spirit from like pre-direct firing. So like 2016, we started 2016 when we were back at bag yeast, short fermentations, and then looking at it now when we're longer fermentations, direct firing, floor malting. Like the difference in the new make spirit is insane. And one of it, and Mike, you've tried it enough to notice, is just this really noticeable, smooth, creamy palate feel. And yeah, 100% from the direct firing.
Yeah, there's a kind of viscosity, isn't it? It's it's like sticky for the word. Cat the ick again, but there's presence there.
Yeah, when we try the new make spirit, it's like you have like very like syrupy, almost mouthfeel, and like very creamy, and it's very unusual. I don't know if it's unusual, but I tried a couple of new make spirit, and it's like I never tried something that heavy in consistency. But yeah, we will see what's happened on the cask. But yeah, it's a very unique process, and I think that was one of the reasons why make me want to move to Scotland and move into that project, because it was like very small scale production and using wood fires. Something unique.
With the still being wood fired, like directly fired, what does that look like? I mean, I know you've got a visitor center, so I'm assuming people can come and do tours. So like how I'm imagining like this little copper pot, like a little witch's house, a little fire burning underneath it, and just you stood there feeding
something like that.
You just got the big bellows, like hand pump.
Yeah. No, the wood fire still is outside of the distillery. I think when Nick and Erin they built the distillery, I think they were a bit scared about the insurance and everything, about having like a wood fire still inside the building, about the safety and everything, and few people told them like a bit crazy. So what they do, we have the wood fire still in a container outside, outside. So very small container. It's a 300-liter wood fire still. It's like a big onion shape, like a very, very long line arm. And just a small entry for put the wood, and it's like distilling outside. The most part of the time, it's like we have a lot of influence of the weather, and I think
you must have experience during winter, I'd imagine.
Yes, it's quite cold during the winter, but depending of the weather, our distillation is completely different. Sometimes you have like very fast distillation when it's very, like a day like today, it was very windy, so you have a lot of air who pass through the still, so the fire just create a lot of heat. So we have a very, very fast distillation. But on a day when it's very quiet, no wind, very cold, it's just a pain. It's just the distillation is very, very slow. I need to put my whole person in it and blow on the fire for activate it. So it's a very hands-on distillation. You need to know the still, how we're gonna react depending of the weather, or how many piece of wood you have to put for have a steady distillation. So it's a bit tricky, I think, the first months to understand. But after, when you get it, when you know the weather, you're like, okay, like last week it was very, very hot. It was like 25 degrees in Moffat. So inside the container, it was like 40 degrees. So my boiling point arrived like very quickly. So I had a very, very fast distillation, so not that much reflux. So even more heavier low wines. So but the only tricky thing is the consistency.
Yeah, I was going to ask how do you manage that?
Yeah, so we try to manage maximum the consistency, but of course every day is different, and I think it's what makes us. Yeah,
Is that something you're going to celebrate in your when the whiskey's ready? Is that
I
unique
think
kind
so.
of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know if we're gonna put like a year of distillation or something like that, but it's definitely different. The result that I have like now since a few months that it start getting warmer, and the result that I have in winter are two different new spirits. Not very different, but slightly different. I think it's less creamy and lactic during summer. I don't know how to explain that, but it's more fruity, it's more floral and bright. And during winter, I don't know, it's more creamy and lactic.
That's quite interesting for you. I mean, it might be
Yeah.
quite nice for people to, if they're following the journey of the spirit, like, well, the summer spirit was very different from the winter spirit. It kind of makes it a bit more of a classical, old style farm forward, like single malt, where everybody was doing that. They were just firing wood underneath it. So from a geek standpoint, yeah, it might be a bit more of a traditional style Scotch,
Yeah,
which
definitely.
is kind of cool.
When you were describing the process, I was picturing what the kind of original Stillman would be doing. The hiding in the hills and trying to create a fire when it's lashing with rain and wind outside. I just got this image of you rubbing two sticks together trying to create a little fire.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But some people on the tour, sometimes they see me like next to the fire like that, like from far, like a person next to the fire, inside the container. And it's like,
do you know, though, I used to work for farms and shooting estates for about 10 years before I moved into whiskey. And as much as I loved my fire, and I do miss having an open fire, there were some days when I just cursed having a fire, fetching wood, getting wet, cutting wood, the fire not going on, the fire going off, the fire getting too hot, the bloody... So yeah, that's your whole job.
Yeah. It's a lot of dedication.
Yes.
You need to feel it. It's a distillation that you need to use a bit your instinct. Sometimes you're like, okay, this is going a bit too fast, so I'm just gonna close the door. The door for slow it down. I'm gonna open it for more air. It's very complicated to describe like how to distill with wood fire, because it's just a moment. Every day is quite different. You just have to deal with the moment, with the weather, with the humidity of the wood. Sometimes when I have very dry wood, it's gonna be very easy to arrive to the boiling point. When I have a kind of humid wood, it's gonna take more long. So you need to be like more there and checking and play with the air, the flow of the air for raise the temperature. So yeah, we have to knock, because of course if you are eating too much to still, it can overflow. The wash can overflow and pass through to the line arm and then just puke. So we have a very technologic technique is to just knock on the still. At the moment of the shape on the onion, we knock on the still, and if it sound like plain, it means that we have the foam. We start going up inside of the still, so we know we have to put down the fire. Yeah, it's more technique like that.
Sounds very hands-on. Like, is
Yes.
it just you? Do you have a team with you that helps out?
No, I have a brewer who came like 3 days a week, mostly mashing and make the fermentation. But after, like, I'm running the two still by my own. But yeah, it's you need to be next to it, like come every 5-10 minutes, check at the still, check the flow, check the temperature, knock at the still for see if everything it's okay. But it's great. It's great. You live with the product. You touch it with your hands. So for me, it's priceless.
It must be very rewarding because every cask filled is literally something you've just done by hand that's slightly unique every single time.
Yeah.
There's not many whiskey makers or
it
master
is.
distillers that could say that. That's quite cool.
It is, yeah.
There's a lot of questions coming in, but I'm also running out of battery. I'm just like such a disaster tonight. I'm going to go get my charger, and then I promise I'm not going to disappear again.
Anyone would think it was you
2
sleeping.
seconds.
I'm going to jump into the questions.
Sure.
Something we've kind of talked about. Dave Hagerson is asking what kind of wood you use to fire up the still.
A few. So we use mostly binge.
Okay.
Yeah, binge. We use as well. We have locally we have a chainsaw artist who make like who carving the wood, who make like shape of animal and deer, and the leftover like the leftover of the wood, he just give it to us. So we dry it down and we use it as well for run our wood fire still. And recently we've been using like stave from cask for run the distillation. When we went to the space side, we passed by a cooperage and we pick up a couple of stave and we said, okay, let's try to run a distillation with stave. There could be a cool story to say, it's like the dead cask they're gonna be used for run the distillation, and it works absolutely perfectly.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, regenerate the casks and energy efficiency.
Yeah, so the last months I've been trying distillation using like stave, and actually they create a lot of heat. So I had a very fast run distillation with the stave.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are looking for a cooperage, like a more close cooperage to we can provide some stave. So yeah, a couple of wood here and there. So.
Yeah. In 40 years' time, you'll have all your own casks as well. That are getting a bit tired by that point. That you could use.
Yeah, we are distilling only 3 days a week, and it's a 300-liter wash still. We don't use that much wood, honestly, for run distill. So.
Good stuff. What other questions have we got? Sugar Kit is asking, with that amount of wine experience, are you also a certified sommelier?
Sommelier is a quite different job, because a sommelier you can recognize like from a range of so many wine, like from where it come from, which type of soil. They are very educated about all type of wine, all type of region, and it's their specialty. And what I did, it was more like on the wine science, like how to make wine, than know about everything about the region. I have, I think, a lot of knowledge about wine, but I don't think as a sommelier have.
Yeah, sommelier is a very specific title, isn't it? It's what a kind of important role they have. I think it's kind of bandied about a little bit as soon as somebody became.
I don't think I would be capable of what you do.
Yeah,
honestly, like recognize, like taste blinding, which wine it is, which soil, the castle, which year, the vintage. No, I don't think I will be able to do something like that. But I don't think a sommelier is capable maybe of doing wine.
With so what's your kind of cask policy with your kind of filling? Because obviously, if you're going to that effort for direct firing, hands-on, like this kind of really small batch approach, I'm assuming you're going to want to do full maturations in potentially something like bourbon, or I'm assuming you're not going to like use finishes that much, but you've also got that wine background too. So is that something you'd want to draw in on for maturation?
Yeah, at the moment we mostly use ex-bourbon, like ASB, like American Standard Barrel. We do have a few quarter cask. Last year we get like a sherry butt. But mostly I think our maturation will be on an ex-bourbon cask. I think it's just the perfect match for the New Mexico spirit that we do, like a very creamy, lactic and brioche. I think it matches perfectly with what the American cask can bring. Of course, I would like to bring some ex-cognac cask. But yeah, we are still thinking about where we are going with the maturation strategy. But I think it will be mostly ex-bourbon cask. After the maturation between cognac and whiskey are very, 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 very different. In cognac, they were using mostly like virgin oak. So what they do is they were putting the cognac into a virgin oak, like to bring the like a lot of structure, and then they transfer it into a middle-aged cask, like a cask will have like 5 to 10 years old, and then they retransfer it to a very old cask, and it was like a kind of integration of the tannin, and that's the cognac style, and that's something that I would like to that I start doing it as well. I start changing a bit the warehouse, and because our scale is just so small that give us the opportunity to move liquid around, to sample every single cask to check if you need more extraction from the wood, if you need to be changed into a different cask for have more structure. If it's too much extract, we can move it into another one. So I'm spending a lot of time in a warehouse sampling, tasting, and say like, okay, this is like that cask, it doesn't bring that much. Let's move it to another one. We have different one like Hogshead and stuff like that. So yeah, I try to bring a bit of my experience that I have from cognac in terms of maturation and sampling the cask, trying it. If we have to move the cask, if we have to move the liquid, we're gonna do it. We're just not gonna seal the cask, put it in the corner, and just forget about it. And let's open it in 10 years. We want to raise them like if they are children. It's like it's one cask, and we have to follow it. We are working on what you call, I think, in Scotland, like reverse maturation. We are not a huge fan with Nick about like finishing. But it's personal. I'm not a huge fan about the finished cask. So our sherry, what we did, we put our New Mexico spirit for a year into a sherry butt, a second fill sherry butt, and it was when was that? 2 weeks ago, we've tried it, and it was like very dark chocolate, very sherry, a lot of tannin. But you start having a tiny bit of astringency and say, okay, let's disgorge it, and we put it into 2 hogshead, and we're gonna finish the whole maturation into those 2 hogsheads. So we bring the structure, like the cognac style, we bring the structure at the beginning, like the aromatic cask at the beginning, and then we transfer it into more neutral cask for the tannin or the astringency precipitate, and the tannin gets softer. So yeah, it's the kind of maturation that I'm working on, because this is how I learn it. But there is no right and wrong. But it's the stuff.
I guess that cask that you've just disgorged could then be used for a longer term.
Yes, definitely.
We'll just be kind of tempering that a little bit, so it's not quite as intense.
So that third refill sherry, I just put New Mexico spirit, and maybe you're gonna be for a longer maturation, or maybe a full maturation in sherry. But at least we rinse it, and
the reverse finishing. I think it's something we're seeing more of in the industry, isn't it? That, and I know guys like Glenfarclas, I think, do that as well, to take the intensity off a sherry cask. It's kind of they fill it, and then they move it into a refill for a long term. Obviously, a lot more focused on sherry than what you guys are.
Yeah, but that's
what I want. Less intense sherry. Let's have more.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes that I found not sad, but it's like I've seen a couple of whiskey who spend like, I don't know, 25 years into a bourbon cask, and we say like, okay, let's put it 3 months into a sherry cask, and at the end you have a whiskey you taste a lot like a sherry, but it's like, where it's been all those 25 years into a bourbon, if you end up by tasting sherry. But it's great, it tastes good, but it's like,
but it tastes like a lot of other whiskies.
And it's like, it's too bad, you spend 25 years waiting for a whiskey for ending up in a sherry, and it tastes like sherry, and it's like, for me it doesn't make sense. But there is few finish that I found it amazing, but you have to be very precise and control, because if a finish took over of the maturation that you did before, there is no point. You have to add something, not cover up something.
I think you're preaching to the converted here. Certainly from Cat. I admit, when I started into whiskey, I quickly became a bit of a sherry slut. I love sherry whiskey. It was Glenfiddich and Glenfarclas and Macallan and all these really big. But the more I learn about whiskey, the more I learn about the production side and where flavors come from in the spirit, the more I'm really getting fascinated by bourbon maturation. There's so much more you can get from a bourbon cask in terms of where's that flavor coming from, and you can feel the fermentation coming through and all these kind of naturally formed notes, rather than, as you say, throw it in sherry and blacken it and make it.
You keep the New Make Spirit signature. Using bourbon cask. You just push it up. You just soften the New Make Spirit. But I think it's important that we still taste the New Make Spirit, or the barley. What's the barley I've bring, and I think that's why. Like you said, you need to taste what the fermentation have bring, what the barley himself have bring, what the distillation have bring. So
absolutely. It's great to see Mordecai. Red Mordecai reviews his own, bigging up the ex-bourbon barrels. He's saying he's very happy to hear you'll be using ex-bourbon barrels, and you're 100% correct. Why put a sherry coat in a single malt, knocking out all those natural malty notes? So you've got a fan there, and he's also delighted with your location. Just a wee bit earlier on, the perfect location for those coming up to Scotland, only about 2.5 kilometres off the A74. And he's going to try and make time to visit next time he's in Scotland.
Nice. Yeah, we're happy to welcome him.
Mm-hmm. So Mordecai, he travels around Scotland looking for kosher certified or investigating kosher certified whiskies. So obviously they can't use sherry. But it'd be great to see him in by Moffat and having a chat with you on that, and see if we can get that certified on your bottles when they're ready. And Kat has gone. She promised she wouldn't disappear again, but she's gone.
But she did.
I'm suspecting internet because she's actually not said anything and just disappeared. Issue. Ian Abernethy is saying, I'm sure that we'll find a place for sherry after you have ensured the ex-bourbon flavors are good. I think that's it, isn't it, about sherry, is it can take you down a different journey. It doesn't have to be about masking flavors or anything. If the flavor is good,
definitely.
Yeah, if you've got a good spirit, it'll work in any cask, really.
You have to be the New Make Spirit and the sherry, but not just covering up. But sherry casks are amazing, and I think it's a perfect match for whiskey. They just need to be used like with more care than bourbon casks. But like I said, I've tried some sherry finish, and they were great. But,
have you any plans to introduce Pete?
Yes, we do. We come out with the idea. At the moment, we are using I don't know if you call it mash bill here in Scotland. We are using mostly classic barley, crystal barley, and chocolate barley. That's our 3 barley that we use in our mash bill. the crystal and the chocolate in a very, very small proportion. We used to add a bit of peated barley. It tends to push a little bit the fruitiness, the peat of the wash. So we found it interesting, but since a month we just stopped completely to add a bit of peated barley, and we say like, okay, you know what, we're gonna run like for 4 months, like our classic recipe, which is classic barley, crystal, and chocolate.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna make like a month of production, making only like a peated whiskey, like 100% peated whiskey, and let's see what happened. But I mean, a month's production, it will be for us only 2 casks fill. So
Yeah.
so in our entire warehouse, it's not going to be that much peated whiskey, but we say like, let's try, and it can be nice to add it into a blend, or to have a peated expression. Let's see.
We'll see.
But yeah, it's on the plan. It's on the plan. Yeah.
Wonderful. We've got Callum Renton has just joined us. A belated good evening, Blethering. Only 49 minutes late. Surprised Mike managed to start the call already. We're not going to go back to that. Yes, Callum, I was late starting the call, but you don't need to know that. Ian's saying, I would like to see more distilleries rediscover light sherry maturation rather than overpowering. Yeah. 100% agree. It needs to make a difference in a good way. It needs to be for a reason, doesn't it? It's not just a case of here's a sherry cask.
Yeah. I'm not even sure that we're gonna, because the sherry cask that we use, maybe it's just gonna end up in the single malt, in our blend in the single malt, and I don't know if we're gonna even write it down on the bottle like sherry cask. It's just gonna be part of the blend. It's just gonna add something, but yeah, it's
we have Kat back.
Yeah,
maybe there she is.
Bloody internet, honestly.
You said you weren't going to leave again. You promised Guillaume and me.
I didn't intentionally. Didn't intentionally leave. I'm hoping this pneumatic drill outside my house is not actually just to do with my internet, but I don't think it is. I think it's just I have shit internet. Anyway, I'm back. I'll just sit quietly and,
I was going to ask you, what dram are you on? I seen you wolfing down a cup of tea. I wasn't sure if you were having a whiskey or not.
So that's the next thing. How many times have I had to disappear? And second time I was like, oh, I'll just pour my whiskey. And then I realized that it's literally got some sort of stupid, like, I don't even know how to get into this. It's got... So I'm like, I'm going to have to wait till my internet dies again, because I'm going to make an arse of myself trying to break into this live on air. I've got the Aberargie because I thought they're all about kind of, so I haven't tried it yet. And everybody knows I'm a geek. Glengarry used to be owned by Moffat Distillers. So I was like, I have to get their inaugural release because they're using all kind of single farm grown barley, and they're using Golden Promise, which I thought was really, really cool. So I bought a bottle of it just before I was due to go to Denmark, and then it got lost in the post. And it got lost in the post for a long time, for like a month. And then I followed the tracking on it, and it said, so I got it delivered to work to Glengarry because I knew I was going to be away and you needed to get it signed for. And when I checked the tracking, it said, address does not exist. We've been there for 230 years. 100% that address exists. I was like, no, you cannot tell me that address does not exist. Like, it says 97 above the door. Like, come on, lads.
Yeah. I mean, it's Distillery Lane, and that's a bit of a giveaway as to where the house.
It's Glengarry Distillery on Distillery Road, and we've been there for over 200 years. So when I finally found it, it was in Glasgow. I'm like, well, okay. So eventually it found its way back to me, and I just had to get it delivered to my house in the end. So long story short, now I'm going to try and break into it and see if it's, so, you guys just talk among yourself, and I'll quietly try.
The guys at home love a cat, the bottle opening, because
do you know how it takes forever? you know how influencers do this really annoying thing where they kind of like, they've got a nice lighting, they're like, they tap stuff, they're like, unopen the bottle with me, guys. It would be the most ridiculous thing if I became an influencer, because I'm like, just any minute now, guys. It wouldn't have the same appeal. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get into this.
Well, I need to pick up my another drum then.
Feel free, because I need time to get into this.
Right,
Oh wait,
it's me who's gonna disappear this time.
I know. we'll it's like a relay. We'll just take turns.
I know. Yeah.
Ian is asking, is it a security tag that you've half-inched from a shop? So.
I will not confirm or deny. No, it turns out it's just a needless little popper. I was panicking that it was attached. Oh. It's not. It's just decoration. So we're just all a nice wee touch. It is. It's pretty. It is very, very pretty. I'm excited to get into it.
Good stuff.
I'm being Glenallachie. I don't know if you know.
You know, after we've spent the last 20 minutes slagging off big sherry casks.
Exactly. That's right.
Nice.
Right. I love Glenallachie. That's
I like it as well.
12 into 15. If you were to describe what sherry cask is, you know, pick up a Glenallachie. It catches it so well.
Yep. And I think you can still feel the malt. I don't know. There is more than the sherry, so that's why I like it.
What I love about Glenallachie is right across whatever, and Billy's doing so much cool stuff with virgin oak, and then he's got so many wine finishes and things like this coming out. There's still that signature kind of toffee apple note in everything, and you can almost certainly, it's one of the few distilleries where I think I could probably pick out a Glenallachie in a lineup because of that kind of toffee apple, sweet malty note in there. It's just it's in every single dram I've had, and it's that's done well when you have that kind of DNA of the spirit all the way through. You know it's been done well.
Yeah, definitely agree. You have that nice brown sugar. I don't know, I like it.
Yeah.
Too sweet for cat.
I can't do the 15. I didn't like the 8-year-old. I can't do the 15, but the 12 is okay. I can do that.
There's a little bit of wine and a little bit of virgin oak in the 12, I think, that gives it that dryness, that kind of oakiness that makes sure it's not, the 15 yet. It's full on.
Yeah, it's true. It's quite dry, the final. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Best whiskey in the world last year, I think it won the World Whiskey Awards.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. You have to start entering your whiskey into awards soon. Get your name out there on the global stage when it's
ready.
That's right. Have you got well, you maybe don't have a date, because with it being like quite a heavy, complex spirit, I guess you're just waiting to see what time does with it.
Yeah, at the moment, the more aged one that we have is a 2 years old, and it's been in the first cask who have been filled. I mean, I joined the distillery like a year ago, so I was not here like for the first distillation. But the first cask who have been filled were a quarter cask, so it doesn't give you like the proper idea of what it's gonna be, because it's very tiny cask, so you have a very rapid extraction. But the 2 years old is quite nice, and what I can see on what we have on the ASB is it feel quite mature for being that young. So that's a good sign. But after we don't have a date of release. The 3 years old, I mean, we're gonna have whiskey officially in September of next year. I mean, the first ASB will be 3 years, September next year. So we will take a decision at this point if it's worth it to release something or just wait, because I think the first release is so important for a brand and for a distillery. It's gonna show who you are and which whiskey is gonna be. So if it tastes too young or not mature enough, we're just gonna wait. But it's easy to say for me, because I'm not the owner of the distillery, and young distilleries it's complicated the first year to survive as well, to make money and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Is there other ways that people who want to follow your story can get involved, like signing up to newsletters or cask investment, or
we have a few cask investment. There is you can own like a cask if people are interested about it. After we have a different range of other stuff. We make a gin. We have a few whiskey liquor. And Nick, the founder, had an independent bottler company before start the distillery, which is called the Local Dram. So we do some blend.
Okay.
We are buying some casks from other distillery. We are making some blends. So yeah, here and there we catch some money for keep running the production and wait for the whiskey get mature. But
that's it.
yeah.
The time is the one thing that we can't rush in whiskey,
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're doing a kind of new make release. Is it Rise or something?
Yes, we do. So it's like a program that you sign off and you receive like every 6 months. Well, when they start distilling, you receive like a new make spirit bottle, and then 6 months after you receive like a 6 months. It's like the program started only with quarter cask. So yeah, every 6 months you receive a small bottle of the evolution of the whiskey until you get 3 years old, and you have your full bottle of single malt with
Cool.
we have all the evolution of the cask every 6 months. So you have kind of a library of small bottle. So you receive like 2 bottles every 6 months. So yeah, it's a small stuff like that, but it's interesting, and it's a nice side project. Why
Sure.
to wait to have the single malt, but yeah, when you're inside that program, we make a couple of private tasting at the distillery, trying the quarter cask, and every 6 months for the release of the new bottle, we invite the people who signed for the program, and we have a chat, and we talk about whiskey and stuff like that. So yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
I think is it our Beaky Distillery? It's got like a glass display on their wall, and it shows you just from new make all the way through to like fully mature, like the different stages of color and how it starts to form color. It's really cool to see that development, because it's the one thing you don't really see unless you're working in a distillery. So it's
Glengoyne do the same. They've got beautiful. I don't know if you've been to the Glengoyne in the warehouse. And then they've got the 3 wood styles. Well, it's 30 years of American oak bourbon cask, American oak sherry cask, and then European oak sherry cask. And it just shows you the difference between the wood and how that impacts the color. Obviously, there's all the kind of display, but that's quite cool. We use that for our whiskey ambassador courses as a kind of idea of how color happens.
Yeah, because like so many people don't know the color comes from the wood. A lot of people don't know that we produce a clear spirit, and I had it again today with my group of people. Like they're like, you showing them clear it, can you make? And they're like, where's the color coming from? And you're really explaining like fully what whiskey is and what it looks like. And I never get over like that revelation moment when people fully understand. Like, oh my god!
I had the same question today. We had the tour, and I had the same question. Like,
I don't think it's the water, isn't it? And I've had that people think peated water gives you peated whiskey, and that's where the color comes from. If it's dark whiskey, then it's going to be peated because it's the dark water.
They're expecting that it go out like brown from the still,
Yeah.
100%. It's cool. I like those moments.
Yeah, it's cool when somebody goes away with something as simple as that. And you realize just how lucky we are to be in this industry and think that's trivial. Like, how do you not know that? But then you remember that the whole world out there is not. They're not geeks like us.
We learn it at some point. We just forget about it.
Yeah. Do you know what question I get asked all the time? And it's probably the most commonly asked question that I've had over the last 8-9 years in the industry. If this is single malt, then what's double malt? Like what does single malt mean? And I got asked it again twice today, and I totally get it. It's a confusing phrase, especially if you're from a country where single malt's not maybe as common as blends, And it's that moment when they go, oh, okay, right, I get it. But
it's like a single grain, but like the malt is a grain, like technically, so it's like people get confused. We had the same problem in Cognac. We have those ranges like VS, VSOP, Napoleon, XO, but even French people doesn't get it, what it means. Like, what is that? What is a VS, VSOP, and and you say it's the age statement. It just proves like that the youngest eau de vie is 2 years old for VS for VSOP, but it's
more of an age bracket than a statement, isn't it? It's like between certain ages it's VS, between certain ages VSOP.
Yeah, VS is like between 2 and 4. VSOP is between 4 and 5. Napoleon is between 6 and 8, and XO is from 10 years old. But it's like you need to remember that when you're a customer and you see a shelf and with like VS, VSOP, it's like it's confusing.
So
it's
when I'm buying, very special old
very
pale.
very special old pale.
Yeah,
Napoleon
is that just extra old XO?
Extra old, yeah. And then after extra old, you have those name, like those fancy name that there is no regulation for those names, but you can hear like Grande Réserve or XXO or like other fancy name, and it's like, and people have no clue what it is because there is no age statement. That's the thing as well that I think that I like about whiskey, and you know what you buy in some way. If you see a bottle is 10 years old, you know that you're gonna put the price for 10 years old. And in a cognac, if you buy a VSOP, it can be 4 years old or 6 or 5. So you don't know. So
I guess in whiskey is you're buying the minimum. It's 10 years old, so that's the minimum. You don't know how much older, but at least you're not going down the way, you're going up the way. You could be getting Glendronach was famous for a long time for having 15 to 18-year-old whiskey, and it's 12-year-old, and people knew that and knew the value of that was great. Ian has said it. A colleague was telling him earlier that he thought the whiskey color comes from the copper on the stills. I haven't heard that one before.
I've heard that before.
Have you?
No,
okay.
I've heard that one. Yeah. I get it. It's brown, shiny brown.
That's not a silly theory. It could be.
Yeah, it's not beyond I could see where they're going. It's not beyond the realm of possibility at all there. But I know you don't know until you know. And there's no such thing as a silly question. I say that, I've had a couple of silly questions. How many fire extinguishers do you have, for example? That was a silly question. But that was the one Tony got asked, remember, Mike?
That was my wife. My wife was a tour guide in Giri. Got asked.
But sometimes I think people are being polite by asking questions. So, there's no such thing as a silly question. It's all good.
Am I right in thinking that Cognac is a brandy? Brandy is kind of the umbrella name, and Cognac is a region that makes brandy, isn't it? It's like champagne and sparkling wine.
Yes. So it's only one region that you can call it Cognac. It's on the Cognac appellation. It's very. I don't know if you've been to Cognac. It's very. It's quite small. The town Cognac. The appellation go up to the sea next to La Rochelle. The Ile de Ré. I don't know if you know is that
my Scottish geography is not great. My French geography is terrible.
On top of Bordeaux.
All right, okay. I know where Bordeaux is.
I know where Bordeaux is. But
so is Armagnac the same? Is that a brandy that's original?
Well, it's a wine spirit. It's like a white wine who've been distilled. But Armagnac is a different is made in a different region in the Gers, and Cognac is made in the region of Charente-Maritime. But the main difference between Armagnac and Cognac is the type of soil. The soil is very different. The type of grapes that they use. Cognac are mostly using Uni Blanc as a grape variety, and Armagnac are using what they call Baco. And the distillation is different. Cognac is a double distillation in the typical onion shape alembic, and Armagnac is a column, single distillation into a very tiny column. So yeah, it's mostly the grapes, the soil, and the type of distillation is quite different. Armagnac tends to be more like let's make it simple, like a bit more dry than Cognac.
Okay.
In terms of taste.
One of the best drinks I've ever had was an Armagnac. I want to say it was 40 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And I picked it up at the Glenfarclas distillery. And this was a cask that was gifted or exchanged with Glenfarclas in a kind of transaction they were buying brand new Cognac casks. And they bottled this, and it was just phenomenal. It was like £100, I think, £120 for a 40-year-old Armagnac. And, so
I mean, wine spirits, I must say, just in love with Cognac and Armagnac. I think it's just, I don't know. It's something else. I love whiskey. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna make my French here. But I just love wine spirits. It's just I think it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful spirits, and
we and this is something that we talk about quite a lot, is how much whiskey the French drink. And I know it's mostly blended stuff, isn't it? But it's the biggest consumer of whiskey in Europe. And people are, when we tell them that, it's a fact that comes up in our whiskey ambassador course, and people are like, really? Didn't think the French like whiskey that much. It's like, it's like,
which is sad. We should drink more Cognac than whiskey. But it's true that French people just love whiskey, and you can see that there is so many whiskey distilleries that opening around France. Like, we start having so many whiskey distillery. But I think that's one of the main thing that surprised me when I was working in Cognac, and now since a year that I'm working in Scotland, is like, when I was working in Cognac, people fare very close to that product, but only the people who work on the region.
right.
It's like 80% of the Cognac is exportation, and it's only 15%, even less than that, who is that French people are drinking it. So French people are not drinking Cognac. So I feel like French people are not connected with their own product. And when I arrived to Scotland, I feel like completely different, because you are, Scottish people are so connected with whiskey. I think because it's part of your economy as well. But it's like, I feel like everyone have a story related to whiskey in some way, and there is a connection between the product and the people that I found it amazing. And I say, like, that's too bad, because we should have that for the Cognac and Armagnac in France, and not only locally.
We can blame the old phylloxera beetle for that, can't we?
Yeah.
Kat, sorry, you're going to say something before I jumped in with that.
I was, but it was probably utter waffle. Oh no, I remember.
Are we to announce that you've cracked into your bottle?
No, I did get into it. It's very good. I'm sure I remember that we had a father and son, a French father and son come into us like last year. And I'm sure they used to travel around like different sort of vineyards, like with like their own little setup, making like Cognac or Armagnac or something. And like they literally just did it themselves, like proper old school, like, they would just turn up your farm or like your vineyard, and they were just like 2-man band, or it could have been, I don't know if it was what's Andrew's favourite stuff that I can't stand?
Calvados.
Calvados. Maybe Calvados. I can't remember, but they were definitely they were lovely. They're the sweetest things ever. But they just travelled around making like spinning for people. Is that a common thing, or I just made this up? Is like a fever dream?
No. It is a common thing. It is a common thing. It sounds very French, so.
They were very, very French, but they were lovely. They were really sweet.
Yeah.
But then,
You say you're not a fan of Calvados?
right. If it's maybe that I haven't found a Calvados matured whiskey that I like yet. I was out for Fage and Kilchoman's Fage release was Calvados finished. I wasn't that fussed about it. And I've tried Andrew's Calvados that he did. He released a weird one that was like matured and like you had it in the shop. You let me try it.
He's had 3. There was a white port finished Calvados.
White port. I wasn't keen on that one.
There was an Arran whiskey cask finished Calvados, and there was a third one. I can't remember what the third one was. But the Calvados that came out of the white port cask was then used to mature or finish their Blether that just came out last week. And that is banging. That is such a good whiskey. But I do agree that the Calvados, I don't think lends itself to whiskey as well as Cognac does. But Calvados, I prefer drinking a Calvados than I do kind of a Cognac.
Okay.
Calvados is apple, isn't it?
It's apple brandy. Yeah. I really like
about I'm doing that because I've just poured myself this guy. This is first the refill bourbon cask Bowmore.
Oh,
from their recent release. So
jealous.
Completely unscripted segue into my next dram.
Nice.
So good.
Calvados is a nice. Sorry, I cut you.
No, I was going to say, you're looking at Little Brown Dog. I was saying, if you're going to ever come up to Northeast and visit me at Glengarry and Mike at the Invery Whiskey Shop, go and see the Little Brown Dog guys because they're very small scale as well.
I will.
They love France. Like
they love France.
They go on a pilgrimage and end up coming back with some Calvados and Cognac casks in the back of the car.
All right.
It kind of comes from their love of the Second World, not the love of the Second World War. Their passion for it. We loved that war. That was so much fun. Their passion for it. They're like whiskey geek. They're history geeks.
Andrew's fluent in French, is he not? I don't think he lets on he is, but I'm sure he's fluent in French.
It would not surprise me. He's one of
the. If you go often as a Paris, maybe it is French.
He's so annoying that he's just so naturally absorbent of information. And I hate him. Fuck off. But on the flip side, what's even more annoying is he's such a likable guy that you just can't help but fucking love him. And you're just like, that's the dick. But but I can imagine he'd be fluent in French. Yeah,
I think he is. I think he maybe is. But sorry, you were going to.
I'm a dick living here.
Never wanted. You were going to tell us something about Cognac there. Sorry, I cut you off as well.
Oh no, I know. I was saying I just love Calvados, and I think it's an unknown product yet, and like a very aged Calvados is just beautiful and amazing, and it still is quite cheap. So maybe if you want to invest in some very old Calvados, it still is very cheap for how like 40 years old is. I mean, it's not expensive at all, but yeah, Calvados is those kind of French spirits who just I think would just disappear with the generation, and I think my generation. I mean, I'm 30 years old, but many of my friends see the Calvados or the Cognac or the Armagnac as the drinks of their grandpa.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to got the same kind of reputation as sherry does, where it's the young people aren't drinking it, and it's good, we're in danger of losing it?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they try very hard to go back into the market and to try to convince like younger people, say, yeah, drink French stuff. We have like a nice spirit, but yeah, with the rise of a lot of whiskey distillery in France, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah. I mean, it might. You know, if whiskey's rising, there's quite a few. We had a question. I think it was it Reb Mordecai who asked it about the French distillery. Where am I? Bren. Yeah, Alan Smith was asking, what's your opinion of the cognac French single malt whiskey Bren? You know, with more whiskies coming on the go, if they are starting to finish in cognac, Calvados, brandy casks, maybe people will, as a segue into, you know, geek out on that. So hopefully that could work. But have you tried any French whiskey? And what's your thoughts on?
I really like because it's not that far from. I'm originally from Nice, in the south of France.
Nice.
So in the Alps, there is a distillery that is Domaine des Hautes Glaces.
Okay.
So it's a farm distillery when they grew their own barley there. Yeah, they do everything on site. They make a lot of experimentation with the barley and everything, and I think it's an amazing. They are making amazing whiskey, and after like other French whiskey, I don't know. I have only this one will come to my mind at the moment, but yeah, Domaine des Hautes Glaces. I don't know if you heard about it.
No,
I don't.
No?
I haven't heard. I don't know much French whiskey, unfortunately. I'm quite.
I think it's owned by Rémy Martin.
Okay.
By Rémy Martin. No, what I'm saying by. No, I don't remember. It's owned by a big group, but I forgot the name.
I think, yeah. I mean, it's not surprising there's French distilleries with their sort of thirst for whiskey. But we say this every week. You know, as much as we would love to try more world whiskey, Scottish people are quite resilient to world whiskey just now still. So it's trying to get that in and find the market for that, you know, to find a place once you've got it in, so that it's not just us like little niche whiskey geeks getting to try these things. Things like Boutique, and there's a couple of like so the bigger companies that, you know, your advent calendar, you sign up to your sort of monthly subscription. That is a good way of getting to try some of these world whiskies without investing in a full-size bottle. But yeah, I still haven't got around to doing that either yet.
Yeah. When we opened the shop 10 years ago, we had the whiskey Armoric.
Armoric. Armoric, yeah.
Yeah, I think were they the first whiskey distillery for or recent times or whatever, and we had a French lad who's become a bit of a local in our bar as well, and he came in, he seen that, and he went, "What are we doing making whiskey? We don't know how to make it." That was 10 years ago, so maybe you've learned a few things since then.
Maybe. we should stick maybe with Cognac, Armagnac, and Calvados. Let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, you're very good at that. And wine.
There is one in Britannia now that I remember is Glen Armor. I think his changed name is called Celtic Distillery now.
Okay.
It's owned by the house Villevert company. I don't know if you know.
No.
Yeah, they make very good whiskey as well.
Yeah. I think
there's been some.
I was just going to say that the challenge is you're up against like a globally renowned wine industry, aren't you?
Yes.
And you know, so people grow up knowing wine. And again, when I'm teaching people whiskey, it's one of my passions is that bar staff and restaurant staff in Scotland don't know Scotch. They don't know whiskey enough. And you go to a restaurant in France or Italy or Spain and you ask about the wine, and it's just like they know it, and they'll pair with it, and they recommend things and style and flavour and taste and all that, and you can see that. And then you go to a bar in Scotland or a restaurant in Scotland, and it's like, I think we've maybe got some Glenmorangie back in the chat. I can get you that if you want, or no disrespect to Glenmorangie, but yeah.
Well, I thought people knew better about whiskey in general. No, not really. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it depends where you go, I think, doesn't it? I mean, generic hotels, not so much, but like good whiskey
Okay.
bars.
Yeah.
We're lucky that we have a great specialist, whiskey bars and places. But I think in general, our hospitality is lacking that. And one of the biggest reasons I think, and Kat, you might come across this, is that people treat hospitality as kind of like a summer job or a part-time job or a stepping stone to, I'll work a bar while I'm studying and in that. Whereas in kind of certainly around the Mediterranean in Europe, it's a career. You treat it with so much more respect and honor. And here it's just like, I'll be a waiter or a barman until I get my real job, kind of thing.
Yeah.
For us to commit to that kind of training, it's hard because they're going to bugger off in a few months.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I think wine have a huge huge impact on people in France, and I think people tend to drink less in France or something with less alcohol. So beer and wine are working very well in France at the moment. But yeah, people are quite knowledgeable about wine, like you said, in France. But they have no clue about cognac. Like I guess like few Scottish people have no clue about whiskey, but yeah, I think it takes time for some people. I don't know to learn and then to teach them. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes when things are on your doorstep, you don't always look at the end of your nose. You kind of look further afield if you're looking for, especially a night out. And a lot of big brands are so pervasive around the world. You start to just recognize, your big pillar brands, your Macallans, your Glenfiddichs, and you sometimes think, what's on your doorstep gets forgotten or lost behind. Because sometimes these smaller producers are a little bit more expensive because it takes a lot more work to make these things, a lot more time. And it's just cheaper, if you're on a night out and you've spot a, malt of the month behind the bar and it's $5, then we're going to do that instead of an aged, beautiful Cognac, Armagnac, whatever else. But yeah, it might have a revival, just like sherry had a bit of a revival. You never know.
Yeah, I love sherry.
Yeah, I love
fortified wine. Honestly, I love it. But
I like sherry, not with whiskey.
No. By himself.
We'll agree to disagree on that, Kat, because I still, when I'm just indulging in whiskey and I want to switch off, it's more often than not, it's a sherry cask I go for.
So, do you know, I always say that I don't like sherry because I don't like a heavy sherry matured whiskey because I don't have a sweet tooth. And I have been proven wrong several times. It's happened with you, Mike, at the whiskey shop where we've done blind taste testings. And, my favourite whiskey has been it was a Kalila, wasn't it? In the Pedro Jimenez cask. I was like, how? So there's variations when I like it, especially if it's a sort of kind of minerally, kind of earthy, heavy kind of peat smoke with a really sweet sherry. But my favorite whiskey over in Islay last week was a Lagavulin, and it was called Peat and Sweet. And I didn't try it to begin with because I'm like, that's not going to be my juice. And then my boyfriend bought a bottle and I tried it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best whiskey all week. And it was sweet, but it was a full bourbon maturation with peat. So it was like, so bourbon's actually really, really sweet as well. It's just a different type of sweet I like.
Yeah.
So do you know what? And you mentioned the word a few times, it's the astringency that I don't like. That sort of dry, kind of claws at your mouth, that kind of brown sugar. I like that. And I seem to be and my palate seems to pick it out a lot.
Yeah.
And
you can lose that astringency if it's sat for a while in the other cask for those astringency disappear. But with the finishing, you can't give rid of the astringency because it's a finish. So you've been put it into a cask and then bottle it, and the tannin didn't have the time for settle.
I think that's my problem. So yeah, I will like some sherry matured whiskies, but it won't always be the one I go for first. I think is what I've come to learn with my whiskey journey so far. There was a really cool question further up that I wanted to ask you. There's been loads of questions, like the chat's been awesome. And it was Ian, and I can't remember it word for word, and I can't find it. I've gone back to look for it. But he did ask whether small distilleries kind of communicated with each other and kind of collaborated or chatted, just, for support, because you're not part of a bigger organization where you might have that support. Have you spoken to other small, like Kythe, for example, who are doing wood fire distillation? Have you chatted to?
Yeah, we've been. I know that that Nick, the owner, I've been talking to Kythe. I think they've been at a distillery before I joined to talk a bit about wood fire technique, because of course they're gonna start, like, I think they start already distilling with wood fire, right, in a much more bigger scale. Kythe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are in contact with them, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be nice to have a chat with them, and when both of us have a single malt, and I'm pretty sure we could do something like the wood fire distillery clan.
That'd be cool.
But after a small distillery, like in the lowlands, we haven't been in contact with, not that I know, at least. But we've been in contact with a couple of brewery, for they maybe gave us some beer cask that maybe make an exchange, like for make a maturation into a beer cask. But no, not that I know, at least that we've been in touch with small distillery. Of course, I know that Nick, the owner, have good contact with Annandale, which is not that far. Annandale Distillery,
because you're right next to the Annan River, aren't you?
Yeah, we are like 45 minutes from Annandale Distillery, so I know that they know each other. But yeah.
Sorry, I it's my turn. I need to go get a charger in my haste to get down. So I'm going to jump out for 2 seconds. 3 for 3. I don't think I've ever had a 3 for 3 in one show.
Completely professional setup, Smooth as anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have a look at some of these questions.
I think it would be great to get in contact with small distillery, like for share experiences, like contact and techniques, and it's a whole different world, like small distillery. So
yeah, and it's quite so niche with you being direct firing like this. Like a handful of distilleries in Scotland that are doing that. So well, Glengarry, you've got an open invitation. Come on up. Come and visit us. You can come and see us at Glengarry and see our direct fired still. There's nobody putting wood underneath it, so it's not going to be as exciting. But yeah, you can geek out over our directly fired still. When we actually went back to direct firing, quite a few people came to visit us because of that, and we had kind of people, from like distilleries, different countries, popping in to see it as well. So it's nice there is that collaboration, because as soon as somebody says, whiskey, I've heard about, that you're floor malting, or I've heard that you're direct firing, can I have a look? It's an open door, really, isn't it? Everybody wants to share their learning.
And it's always like a good exchange of knowledge. We don't know everything. Or sometimes we have certainty about things. They are like, oh, this is the right way to do it, and sometimes it happen that no, maybe there is other great idea outside that we haven't think about it, and it's not maybe the right way to do it. But there is other technique or other things that we don't know. So I think it's important to be open-minded, and I think getting in contact with other distilleries would be great. For exchange knowledge about production and process.
You'll have to get a weekend off and just start driving around and going, knocking on doors.
We learned so many things during the Spirit of Speyside Festival. We visit mostly like big distillery, but still, at least for me, it was fascinating to see the difference of the scale, and just see how the other one are working. I think it's so important to understand the environment where in the industry where you are working on. So
yeah, I mean, and likewise, I like from sitting listening to you this evening, because what you're doing is very different from what I experienced at Glengarry with our direct fighting. So I've literally just like filled a page with like geeky facts that you've just been.
all right.
But I mean, I had to
good.
learn. Yeah, so yeah, when we moved into direct fighting, I had to recreate the script for the visitor center team. So I literally just had to sit down with the manager at the time, a guy called Dr. Corneli Meduli, and we brought him in from the maltings just to get us through this project, going back to floor malting direct fighting. So it's like you're kind of relearning what you thought you knew about distillation. I was like constantly just sitting there. I was like, yes, but why? And like, why are we talking about amino acids? Where are the amino acids coming from? Like, what happened? Like, why are we now talking about? I've never had to talk about amino acids. Why am I now talking? What is a Maillard reaction? Maillard, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been a learning process. But the more you learn, the more you kind of want to learn, because
It's always a learning process. I think it's always a learning process. You never stop learning something, and I think it's what I really like about Scotland. And when we went to Speyside, and I think everyone is so transparent. At least to distillery where I went, and the people that I've met, they've been so transparent about their process, and I don't know, talking about distillation technique and temperature and things very, I don't know, very, let's say, secret. And in Cognac, it was very different. Each house have his own way of making the things, and it's like a family secret. It's like a secret recipe, and you don't have to talk about it. And yeah, there is no that much sharing of knowledge like I've seen since a year, at least since I'm here. So I found it great, because if you are sharing knowledge, we all go up,
Yeah.
So
no, exactly. Yeah, I think if you do come up north, you have to also go and visit the Cabrach distillery, because it's a tiny little distillery.
we went there. Yeah. I did. It was great. It was we went there.
Was it Ewan?
Yes, yeah, and because the same day we went up to Dornoch.
Yes.
To see the Thompson brother.
Fantastic.
It was a very long day. We went up to.
That's quite a journey.
In one day.
We went up to Dornoch. We spent the morning with one of the Thompson brother, and he showed us the distillery, and we actually talk about so many geeky stuff about distillation, and then we went down to the Cabrach, and we make the visit with Ewan, and it was great. It was great.
He is the most lovable geek in the whiskey world.
Yeah.
A lot of it he was kind of, because he started at Dornoch and was kind of almost self-taught, and kind of put himself through it was the Heriot Watt, wasn't he? Did the degree through Heriot Watt. But yeah, just the biggest geek ever. And I met you. I can't remember how I met Ewan, but he came out on tour at Glengarry, and I realized about halfway around, I'm way out of my depth here. You're asking me questions that I cannot answer. I'm like, I like that you've got confidence. I've got this far, and I like that you feel like you can ask me that question. But now I'm tapping out. Now we're going to go and ask it ops.
This is off track.
Yeah, his enthusiasm is contagious, and what they're doing up there is awesome. Such a
this series is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about starting up their buck still British soon as well, which is going to be cool. That's like proper old school Cabrach style. That's going to be good fun.
I know that this kind of corridor, you have the washback and the steel. It's just beautiful. I think we feel so great to work there. Yeah.
It would.
I discovered while I was finding a charger that I have two things I want to showcase. I'm just like this little brown dog fanboy at the moment. We've got this 1993 brandy called Petit Chien Brun.
Petit Chien Brun.
Thank you for showcasing my lack of French.
No, it was good. It was good.
Even when it's in front of me, I know what it means. Little brown dog. Yeah. How many times do you pick up a whiskey and say, "Look at the color of that"? and that is like Coca-Cola. I remember the first time we tried this. This it was a previous version of this, and Andrew turned up with it at the shop just at the same time as a friend of the shop called Ian McElwain turned up. He came on our Whisky Academy, and he's done books on photography about Ardmore as well. I think he's a distilled history or bottled history, I think he called it. And he makes his own cheese. So he turned up with this really nice blue cheese. And we just had this French 30-year-old brandy. And me and Russell were in the shop. We're like, and I think it was during lockdown. So people weren't physically allowed in the shop. We were doing like a counter service at the door. And we're like, fuck it, we're just going to crack open this blue cheese and brandy. And we're like, the afternoon, it was just brilliant. So I'm going to have a wee bit of that. And then to pull Cat's brand in, I remember I had this little Ard layer finished in a cognac, which
nice.
For those who know me in the Blether know how much I love Ard layer and Ardmore. So you find a cognac cask, right? You get a cognac cask, I think is outstanding. This was one. I'm not a big believer of the. I don't know what you think about the neck pour. You know, the neck pour is never as good as the rest of the bottle kind of idea. I poured this, and it was my least favorite of the 4 that they released at the start of the year. Going back to it, oh my God, it's so good. It just opens up a little bit of air in the bottle, a little bit of time in the glass. I don't know if you've ever, yeah. Have you had experience with that? That a whiskey just changes so much from that first couple of drams.
Yeah, I think so. I've quite often tried a whiskey that I've maybe had at like a whiskey fair and thought that's quite nice. Bought a bottle, come home, thought I don't like it as much. It must have been just like festival vibes. Yeah. And then, as you can see, I don't actually finish much whiskey at all. And then you go back to it again, usually on the Blether. I think actually I do actually quite like that. So I do think there is some value and benefit in it just oxidizing a wee bit in the bottle.
Yeah, I think the ethanol, I mean, the sensation of ethanol just go down and you have it opens up.
Yeah. And I quite like the journey of the whiskey changing as well, because it's never going to be exactly the same if you've left it for a little while from what you remember the first time you tried it. But I'm not against that. I'm not precious. I wouldn't. What is it people put, like they put that gas inside it, like that? People like fill a bottle with like that really heavy gas. It's like heavier than air.
Like a soda stream kind of idea, isn't it?
Okay.
What we do we've got a Vert de Van at the Foghouse for the wine. It's kind of similar to that.
Okay. Yeah, it's causes like a seal. So every time they have a dram, they just kind of reseal it. I'm like, oh, come on, like life's short, guys. So you gotta get over it.
Yeah, just finish the bottle.
Get
invite some friends and just pour
hashtag responsible drinking. Yeah.
Hashtag responsible drinking. Pour some water.
This is not wine we're talking about. This is not 14%. This is
Mike. You've been out with me. I can't finish 2 glasses of wine without being on the floor. There's no way I'm going to whiskey. I'm the worst lightweight ever created. But yes, we have to ask you every week, Callum, who's a regular viewer, bearing in mind his tag is Glen Scotia whiskey. Don't let that influence you with this question, but maybe let it influence you a little bit when you answer one part of it. So he wants to know. Oh, wait, the question's just moved. What is your favorite?
Know this already?
I know. I should know it off by heart. What is your favorite distillery from each of the 5 regions / localities? You probably can't say your own one for Lowlands, but yeah, over to you. Start with Highland.
Island.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Island is tricky. Lowland, I think Daft Mill.
Nice.
Just for the fact, I don't know, the way how we work and just great. Speyside. It's a tricky one. Speyside. I need time to think about it. Campbelltown is. I mean, I would say obvious one, the Springbank. Just like Springbank.
Sorry, Callum.
Yeah, that's the wrong answer.
Isla, like Burnhaven.
Munya,
the Siri Munya. Speyside.
The peated.
Speyside. But like Caventon, I like, but it's I think it's Springbank as well, but it's Longmore, the series Longmore.
yeah.
It's I really like it.
It's not one you see often, is it? Long ones.
There's quite a lot in space.
I'm going to say something, and after I'm going to say, I should have said something else.
Does the Cabric count as Speyside? It doesn't. You can use the Cabric. That's Speyside.
No,
Yeah,
because it's
that's
not their own whiskey. You can't say that.
Okay. All right, Dad.
Yeah, there is Glenallachie.
Glenallachie, yeah.
No, I will say one because it's a bit particular for me because it's the first. It was a long time ago. It was like 6 years ago. It was the first time that I go to Scotland, and it's the first time that I went into a distillery, and it was my dream. It was the Dalwhinnie.
Okay.
Dalwhinnie distillery was the first distillery where I went, and I think it's a very easy drinking whiskey. And
Yes.
I don't know. I just like the like the brand. But I always say this.
I agree with that answer because Dalwhinnie is the
memory.
To Scotch.
Yeah,
that was. My first whiskey experience was Jameson's, the Irish whiskey, and I wanted to find a Scottish whiskey because I worked in hospitality. I wanted to find a Scottish whiskey that would be as good as Jameson's. But that was a long time ago. And Dalwhinnie was the one that kind of got me into the Scotch whiskey.
Yeah, same. So yeah, same. Yeah, Dalwhinnie, and I think the site is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in a good location. I've never been to the distillery, but I've been past it plenty, and it is a beautiful location to have a distillery.
And it was crazy that day when I went there. It was a snowstorm, and I could not see the distillery when we arrived by car.
Standard.
And we inside the distillery, it was warm and it was smelling malt, and it was the first time, and it was, I don't know, it was like it was such an experience for me to smell malt and the smell of a distillery for the first. I mean, for a Scotch whiskey distillery for the first time. So it was amazing. And we go out of the distillery and it was blue sky with snow everywhere. And it was great. So it's a great memory. So,
that's a good memory. And that's what's lovely about whiskey as well. It's quite often linked to memory, whether it's a distillery or first whiskey in your glass. And that's a nice memory to have. That's quite cool. That's a good answer. I think we covered them all, didn't we? Did we get all our regions? I think we have.
I think so.
Jeremy,
Dalwhinnie is the best toilet stop when driving on the A9. He's not saying Dalwhinnie is a toilet. He's saying it's a good stop because you can get some whiskey while you're there. I'm sure.
Exactly. It's a good stop if you're in a snowstorm. You can stop there.
Yes.
Great place to snow toilets. Yeah. You need to find a good toilet because there's not a lot of toilets in Scotland. You know, if you're doing the North Coast 500, you have to plan it around toilets and filling stations because we don't have a lot of public toilets in Scotland. Jeremy, argon gas. You're right. That's what it is that people put in their bottles. I knew Jeremy would know. He always knows these things.
If anyone would know, Jeremy would know.
Yes. Yeah. Now we're just getting toilet recommendations. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
It was Annan when we had Ben from Annan on who was saying that they've got awarded the best distillery or the best toilets in Scotland. Yeah. It must be something about your region. It's a
really good toilet. How's the toilets at Moffat Distillery? Should we all come down and check out your toilets?
Yeah, there is plenty of them. So that's a good thing. They are pretty clean. So that's the second good thing. So,
yes. Yeah. There you go. You heard it here now, guys. Go to Moffat for good whiskey and clean toilets.
And clean toilets, yeah.
Do you guys have like a plan for what your bottle is going to look like? Labels? Do you have a brand design, a brand vision?
We start like looking at it. We start like thinking about it. I think it's going to be something very, very simple. I know that Nikki wants like something like letterpress.
Okay.
Letterpress style. Nothing. I don't think nothing very fancy with gold or
just kind of
very. I think what represents the distillery, like something like simple craft, and, but yeah, but we are still thinking about, yeah, should we put the year of distillation? Should we like talk about kind of vintage, or like depending of the distillation period, if it's winter or summer. I do keep tracks about every single distillation on the book, like every day. So I know from each cask what's in there. So
Yeah.
I can just have the whole historic of which day it been distilled, and like everything from it. So maybe it would be, I mean, definitely it's useful for me as data, and for improve, and for have like, yeah, for just know what's happened if I change things. But maybe that would be useful for release something and say, okay, that's been distilled that year, and you have like I don't know.
It's very cool for heritage as well, though. Imagine in 100, 200 years when visitors are looking back at the first
Yeah,
maker's handwriting in his book, and this is what we used to do.
yeah. I write it down by hand. I have I call them like distillation book. So you have all the temperature, the time, the cut points, the tasting notes every day. I'm tasting the sample of what I distill of the day. So yeah, I keep track about everything. So yeah, maybe we be for a whiskey geek in century, maybe we'd be gold. But
This you don't realize this yet, but you're creating an archive.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But even I'm coming back myself to those notes, and I'm like, when I have like a distillation day and I found what I distilled today was amazing, I'm like, I'm making a small cross, and I'm going back to the whole process and say like, okay, what happened for it be great, and yeah, I try to find an answer, and yeah, I think is for me it's great just to read back my notes as a yeah as a base for know what I'm doing. But yeah, I would guess it would be interesting in a few years.
That's exciting. I mean, you must feel very proud and very kind of excited for the future that you are making
Yeah.
obviously something quite special and quite unique. And yeah, still early doors, but to be there from nearly the start, you've been there a year now, and obviously Spirit Come Off the Stills is from what you're currently doing now. So I mean, you're already creating legacy with Spirit, which
it was so important for me. I think it's one of the questions that I asked in my first day when I came here. I spent 10 days at the Moffat Distillery for just see like if I like it the town, if I will be able to project myself in that new life. And I think one of the first questions I asked was do you take the cuts by sense or by like automatic, and say, oh no, we take the cut by sense. And for me it's something very simple, but for me it makes such a difference to take the cuts between the heart and the tails by sense, by smelling, and have like a human impact on what you do. And yeah, so it's a small one details that for me change everything. We say, okay, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I remember being at Springbank 2017. I was on the whiskey school that they do. I'm relatively new into the industry at this point. I walked in and distilled, and the spirit safe was just open. It wasn't even unlocked. It was like open.
Yeah.
And I was like, every distillery I've been to has told me that you have to have it locked by 2 keys and the excisemen and all that kind of that myth story. I was like, and the guy who was in charge of still, Pops was his nickname. Can't remember his real name. And he says, if your distillery has a locked still safe, then they don't trust distillmen.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's brilliant. But yeah, by the end of it, we were going in and we were taking away sample from the run and trying to say, well, let's how 20 minutes in or an hour in, or we were trying to gauge from the flavors, and I guess that's what you're talking about is gauging on the flavor. Because it's going beyond.
That's the fun part. That's the fun part of, I think, being a distiller is like I like that moment as spending like 15-20 minutes. I'm just sat with my glass and just smell and choose the right time to cut, and I don't know, it's my moment, I don't know, to connect with what I'm doing. And
I guess with the way that you're producing your whiskey, that's so much more important than somewhere that's kind of in a controlled environment.
Yes,
because your cut's going to change all the time if it's
cold because we don't have that consistency as a big distillery we have, because everything is controlled. So it will not make sense to make automatic cuts in our case because we have the kind of inconsistency.
The German tourists are going to love you. Because they love consistency, they love and they love things that happen for a reason, and you're just going to rip up that notebook and say, what's your cut point? Depends on the weather.
On Monday it was
we have that day.
Well, let me tell you.
Well,
we do have a kind of cut points where, like, when we know, but it kind of change every day. Not that much, but it change.
No, that's cool. It's very, very cool. It's exciting to keep an eye on. Like, I think we're definitely gonna be watching out for you guys and seeing the development of that story. And I think we're all going to try and get down and visit this distillery at some point, because
go for it. I would be happy to show you around and take the cut points with you.
Can I write in your book?
In your book.
In the archive.
No, it's exciting. But we've had you on for nearly 2 hours now, and honestly, I could geek out with you all night, but we need to get you back. We need to get you back on when you know that you're releasing the spirit, or get you back on maybe like next year and just see where you're at and how it's going, and
sure,
progression of the distillery. But please come up north as well. Come and visit us. Mike's got an awesome whiskey bar and shops. You guys come have a look at that. Then
I would definitely come.
I'm always floating around Glengarry, so you can come and check out our direct firing and see what we're doing up there. And all the guys watching are all planning their trips based on the fact you've got toilets and a cafe now. So half the guys.
I should have started by saying that.
Never mind all that wood nonsense. Just be like, we've got a cafe.
10 minutes podcast where we have toilets and visitor center. Voilà. Thank you.
It should be the first question we ask. Never mind Callum with his choose a distillery from each region. Should be like, what's your toilets like?
Do you have good toilets, and can people have a coffee while they're there?
Yes. But no, it's been awesome having you on.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It was great.
Thank you for putting up with our complete lack of professionalism as we ran the show tonight.
Next time,
I'm glad you woke up.
I'm glad you woke up too.
I know. Oh God, I don't know what it was. It just something triggered my internal clock was saying, Mike, you got somewhere to be here.
Thank goodness that did kick in. It wouldn't be the first time you've fallen asleep live on air, but that was at the end of a tasting, and I think you just KO'd, but you've never done it at the Blether.
That was a different story altogether. Let's not bring up that. It happened twice. Then that was the lockdown years. That was the after party. I've never fallen asleep during an official event.
It's good to know. But awesome chat, and the geek level in the chat's been awesome as well. So you always know when people are really engaged because the questions just start filing in. So it's been very great having you on, and we're definitely watching. And I follow check out the Moffat Distillery on socials. I've just followed them on Instagram, and I guess you're on Facebook and stuff too. So give the guys a follow, and we'll keep track of what you guys are up to. And it's
absolutely fantastic. I've loved it. I've loved. I've had a cognac cask, I've had a Calvados cask. I've just poured my brandy. You know, I am Frenching the shit out of
You
tonight.
made the Tour de France.
Pretty much.
Nicely done.
Feel like a cyclist. Yeah. Next week I'll be dressed in lycra just for you guys.
Yeah,
Oh, no, don't.
you are missing the yellow jersey. And,
Yeah. Awesome.
Talking to next week, Kat, who's our guest?
Oh, it was you that told me who we've got on next week. We've got the Labrador of whiskey, Mr. Ian Forteeth. So I'm very excited about that. It'd be nice to get him back on.
Yeah, he's the blender for Glencadam, Tom Towell. He's just the Labrador. He's just like a puppy. We love having Ian on. Fourth time, possibly fifth time on as a guest of the Blether.
We'll have to get him.
First time as a keeper of the Quay.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yeah. They'll have lots of the secret handshake when he comes on. I'm sure they'll have the secret handshake.
I'll try not to fall asleep for that one.
Yeah, please don't. So tune in next week, guys, and we'll see Mr. Forteeth and find out what he's been up to as well.
Absolutely. Guillaume, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on.
Thank you so
It's
much.
been so much fun. It's been good.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys at home enjoyed it. Alan summed it up. Really great guest, Mike. I'm definitely going to visit Moffat now. So, that's
Waiting.
it. What a way to end the show. Good night. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.